All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning. I'm Anuja Kumar and with me is Subhadra Ramachandran. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi leaves on a 5-day visit to Italy and UK to attend G20 Summit and World Leaders Summit of COP26. Prime Minister says COP26 Summit will provide opportunity to meet all stakeholders. PM to highlight the need to comprehensively address climate change issues. India and ASEAN countries call for peace and stability in South China Sea and ensuring freedom of navigation and overflight. India's COVID vaccination coverage crosses 104 crore 84 lakh mark. Union Home Minister Amit Shah to launch BJP's membership drive in Uttar Pradesh today. Railways to start running India's first train with AC3 economy class Gati Shakti Express from today. Sex ratio in Delhi improves to 933 females to 1,000 males. India's ace shuttler PV Sindhu enters third round of women's singles event at French Open Badminton Tournament. And in cricket, Australia beat Sri Lanka by 7 wickets in Super 12 match of T20 World Cup. As India created history by administering more than 100 crore doses of vaccine against COVID-19, All India Radio salutes all the doctors, nurses, other frontline workers and all those who got vaccinated and made this possible. Even though the country has achieved this feat, we caution our listeners that the battle against COVID is not yet over. We appeal to our listeners to get fully vaccinated at the earliest and also help others get vaccinated. During the festival season, please follow these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki doori for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact national helpline numbers 01123978046 and 1075. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has left on a 5-day visit to Italy and United Kingdom last night to attend the 16th G20 Summit and the World Leaders Summit of COP26. During the first leg of his visit, Mr. Modi will reach Rome to participate in the G20 Summit on 30th and 31st of this month at the invitation of Italian Prime Minister Mario Draghi. The summit will be attended by heads of state of G20 member countries, the European Union and other invited countries and international organizations. Briefing media in New Delhi, Foreign Secretary Harshvardhan Shringla said G20 Summit is centered around the theme People, Planet, Prosperity. He said it focuses on the areas of recovery from the pandemic and strengthening of global health governance, economic recovery and resilience, climate change and energy transition, and sustainable development and food security. He said the thrust of the summit will be on economic and health recovery, climate change and sustainable development.
The summit last year, hosted by Saudi Arabia, was held virtually because of the COVID-19 pandemic. The last in-person summit that the Prime Minister had attended was in Osaka in June 2019. Italy's theme for its presidency is People, Planet, Prosperity. It actually comes from the 2030 UN Agenda for Sustainable Development. There are 5 Ps here, but Italy has chosen to retain the 3 Ps as being the theme for the G20 summit. And the focus of Italy is on recovery from the pandemic and strengthening global health governance, economic recovery and resilience, climate change and energy transition, and sustainable development and food security. India fully supports the priority areas chosen by Italy.
Following his Rome visit, Prime Minister Modi will leave for Glasgow to attend the World Leaders Summit of the 26th Conference of Parties, COP26, to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. The high-level segment of COP26 will be held on 1st and 2nd of next month. It will be attended by heads of state of more than 120 countries. The Foreign Secretary said the countries will work to achieve completion of Paris Agreement implementation guidelines, mobilization of climate finance, and action to strengthen climate adaptation, among others. On being asked if India will offer food grains to Afghanistan, he said India has been forthcoming on the issue of humanitarian assistance and will be responsive to the situation if the current circumstances are prevalent in doing so. Our correspondent has filed this report on the visit.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will hold several bilateral meetings, including with his Italian counterpart, on the sidelines of G20 summit. He will also call on Pope Francis at the Vatican. In Glasgow, Mr. Modi will deliver a national statement at the World Leaders Summit of COP26. Another important event will be the launch of Global Green Grids Initiative under the vision of One Sun, One World, One Grid. Besides, Mr. Modi, along with Australian and UK Prime Ministers, will launch a new initiative for infrastructure for resilient island states. Several bilateral meetings are also in the pipeline on the sidelines of COP26, including with UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson. Diwakar, AR News, Delhi.
In his departure statement, Prime Minister said that he will highlight the need to comprehensively address climate change issues, including equitable distribution of carbon space and the importance of sustainable lifestyles for green and inclusive growth at the World Leaders Summit during COP26. Mr. Modi said COP26 summit will also provide an opportunity to meet with all the stakeholders, including leaders of partner countries, innovators, and intergovernmental organizations, and explore the possibilities for further accelerating clean growth. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will today hold joint meeting with President of European Council Charles Michel and President of European Commission Ursula von der Leyen. He will then depart for Piazza Gandhi and pay floral tribute to the bust of Mahatma Gandhi. In the evening, Mr. Modi will hold meeting with Prime Minister of Italy, Mario Draghi.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi and 10 ASEAN countries have affirmed the importance of maintaining and promoting peace, stability, safety and security in the South China Sea and ensuring freedom of navigation and overflight. An official statement issued at the end of the 18th India-ASEAN Summit said that both sides noted the importance of promoting a rules-based order in the region, including through upholding adherence to international law, especially the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea. The discussions between the two sides covered all regional and international issues of common interest and concern, including terrorism. The two sides announced their decision to celebrate 2022 as India-ASEAN Friendship Year to commemorate the 30th anniversary of their partnership. Addressing the summit, Prime Minister Modi emphasized that the unity and centrality of ASEAN has always been an important priority for India. Mr. Modi asserted that the special role of ASEAN is embedded in India's Act East policy and security and growth for all in the region.
आसियान की यूनिटी और सेंट्रलिटी भारत के लिए सदैव एक महत्वपूर्ण प्राथमिकता रही है। आसियान की यह विशेष भूमिका भारत की एक्ट ईस्ट पॉलिसी, जो हमारी सिक्योरिटी एंड ग्रोथ फॉर ऑल इन द रीजन यानी सागर नीति में निहित है। भारत के इंडो पैसिफिक ओशन इनिशिएटिव और आसियान के आउटलुक फॉर द इंडो पैसिफिक क्षेत्र में हमारे साझा विजन और आपसी सहयोग का ढांचा है।
Mr. Modi highlighted India's efforts in the fight against the pandemic in the region. He also reiterated support for ASEAN's initiatives in this regard. India has contributed medical supplies worth $2 lakh to ASEAN's humanitarian initiative for Myanmar and $1 million for ASEAN's COVID-19 response fund.
The External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar has said that change must begin from UNSC for Africa's voice to be effectively heard. He was addressing a UNSC high-level meeting on cooperation between the organizations and regional and sub-regional organizations. Dr. Jaishankar called for permanent African representation in an expanded Security Council. He said India's partnership with Africa is driven by 10 guiding principles enunciated by Prime Minister Narendra Modi in 2018. The minister said India will continue to work with Africa as per Africa's priorities, Africa's comfort and Africa's aspirations. He said India believes that Africa's rise is essential for true multipolarity in the global order. India's COVID-19 vaccination coverage has crossed 104 crore 84 lakh mark. Out of the total vaccination, more than 72 crore vaccine doses have been given as first dose, while over 32 crore doses have been administered as second dose. Union Health Ministry said more than 66 lakh vaccine doses were administered yesterday. As part of the nationwide vaccination drive, the centre has been supporting the states and union territories by providing them COVID vaccines free of cost.
The Home Ministry has extended the COVID-19 restrictions across the country till the 30th of November this year to prevent any further spread of the pandemic. Earlier, the ministry had asked the states and the union territories to focus on the five-fold strategy of test, track, treat, vaccination and adherence to COVID-appropriate behavior. The states have also been asked to maintain utmost vigil in respect of mass gathering events to avoid any possibility of a surge in the COVID-19 cases. The Health Ministry will release an audio-visual song today by renowned folk and classical singer and Padma Bhushan awardee Sharda Sinha to seek public participation towards observance of COVID-safe behavior during the upcoming Chhath Puja. Ms. Sinha in the video also requests everyone to take both the doses of COVID vaccine at the earliest in order to defeat the pandemic. The song is a part of the ongoing public service announcements series under the title of Zara Sochiye. It focuses on COVID-safe behavior during the upcoming festivals.
Beijing-based Multilateral Development Bank, Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank AIIB and the Asian Development ADB will co-finance a $2 billion loan for India to procure COVID-19 vaccines under ADB's Asia Pacific Vaccine Access Facility, APVAX. AIIB's Vice President Dr. D.G. Pandian said in Beijing that AIIB is considering providing $500 million and the Manila-based ADB is expected to finance $1.5 billion. The loan is under consideration from the AIIB board, he said, adding that India has applied for it 3 months ago. Home Minister Amit Shah chaired the meeting in New Delhi yesterday of the Consultative Committee of the Ministry of Home Affairs on the subject of coastal security. Addressing the meeting, Mr. Shah said that as per the guidelines of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the Department of Border Management has been working over the last few years in the direction of further strengthening of coastal security, and more can be done with suggestions received from all. Mr. Shah said that the Home Ministry is seriously assessing the challenges being faced in coastal security. You are listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi leaves on a 5-day visit to Italy and UK to attend G20 Summit and World Leaders Summit of COP26. Prime Minister says COP26 Summit will provide opportunity to meet all stakeholders. PM to highlight the need to comprehensively address climate change issues. India and ASEAN countries call for peace and stability in South China Sea and ensuring freedom of navigation and overflight. India's COVID vaccination coverage crosses 104 crore 84 lakh mark. Union Home Minister Amit Shah to launch BJP's membership drive in Uttar Pradesh today. Railways to start running India's first train with AC3 economy class Gati Shakti Express from today. Sex ratio in Delhi improves to 933 females to 1,000 males. India's ace shuttler PV Sindhu enters third round of women's singles event at French Open Badminton Tournament. And in cricket, Australia beat Sri Lanka by 7 wickets in Super 12 match of T20 World Cup. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
Union Home Minister Amit Shah will launch BJP's membership drive in Lucknow, Uttar Pradesh today. Mr. Shah will reach Lucknow this morning and hold meetings with organizational leaders to hammer out a blueprint of the party's strategy for the upcoming assembly elections. We have more from our Lucknow correspondent.
Amit Shah will launch the BJP's membership drive at Defence Expo ground in Lucknow, which could be termed as the launch of election campaign of the party in the state. He will also flag off the LED campaign vehicles to various districts and address conveners and in charge of Shakti Kendras from Awadh region at Defence Expo ground. Union Education Minister and BJP in charge for elections in state Dharmendra Pradhan, along with state BJP head Swatantra Dev Singh, Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath and other ministers will be present in the function. He will then address the senior workers of the party at Indira Gandhi Pratishthan. Many ex-MLAs, ex-MPs in charge and conveners of parliamentary constituencies during Lok Sabha election 2019 will be part of this crucial meeting. Shah will then reach the BJP headquarters to preside over various organizational meetings. Sushil Chandra Tiwari, AIR News, Lucknow.
Indian Railways will start running India's first full economy AC3 tier train, Gati Shakti Express, from today. The base fare of economy AC3 tier coach is 8% less than the normal AC3 class of coaches. The train will run between Delhi and Patna. En route, it will stop at Kanpur Central, Prayagraj Junction, Varanasi, Deen Dayal Upadhyay Junction and Danapur in both the directions. Train number 01684, Anand Vihar Patna Economy AC service will depart from Delhi at 23:10 hours and reach Patna Junction at 15:45 hours the next day. Train number 01683, Patna Anand Vihar Economy AC service will depart from Patna at 17:45 hours and reach Delhi at 9:50 hours the next day. We spoke to Minister of State for Railways, Rao Sahab Nanwe, about the train.
आज दिल्ली से जो अपना आनंद विहार स्टेशन है वहाँ से पटना तक पहली गति शक्ति एक्सप्रेस ट्रेन शुरू हो रही है। ये पहली ट्रेन है। इसका किराया अन्य एसी ट्रेनों से कम है। लगभग 8% इसका किराया कम है। इससे गरीब लोगों को एसी में सफर करने का मौका मिलेगा। कम पैसा देना होगा। यात्रा सुरक्षित होगी। अन्य जो ट्रेनें हैं जल्दी ही हम शुरू करेंगे। प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी की कल्पना है कि गरीब लोगों को कम किराए में अच्छी सुविधा मिले, इसलिए ये गति शक्ति ट्रेन हम शुरू करने जा रहे हैं।
Chennai-Mysore Chennai Shatabdi Express becomes the first integrated management systems certified train of Southern Railway. The certificate has been given for maintenance and better use of environment-friendly resources and for offering travel comfort. This is also the first Shatabdi of Indian Railways and the second express train on Indian Railways to bag this certification. As our nation celebrates its 75th year of independence, a series of events are being organized by the government as part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Now, let's listen to our special program, Azadi Ka Safar, highlighting the importance of the day during the freedom struggle.
Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav.
Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. India's glorious fight for freedom is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of the valiant struggle every day.
29th October is the death anniversary of the great freedom fighter and social activist Kamla Devi Chattopadhyay. She passed away in 1988 in Mumbai at the age of 85. Greatly inspired by Gandhian ideals and the concept of non-violence, Kamla Devi joined the Gandhian organization Seva Dal after her return from England, where she studied at the University of London and received a diploma in sociology.
She enrolled herself in the nationalist struggle as a member of the Congress Party. Kamla Devi was charged with the violation of the SALT laws and was sentenced to a prison term. She captured the nation's attention when, in a scuffle over the Congress flag, she clung to it tenaciously.
Kamla Devi became the president of the All India Women's Conference in 1936. She was a great author, and her first writings on the rights of women in India date back to 1929. One of her last books, Indian Women's Battle for Freedom, was published in 1982. Kamla Devi is credited with reviving Indian handicrafts and handlooms. She stressed the significant role which handicrafts and cooperative grassroots movements play in the social and economic upliftment of the people.
Kamla Devi is known as Hatkargha Ma for her works in the handloom sector. She nurtured several national institutions promoting drama, art, theatre, music and puppetry. Kamla Devi set up the Indian National Theatre in 1944, what is today known as the National School of Drama. In 1974, she was awarded the Sangeet Natak Academy Fellowship, the highest honour conferred by the Sangeet Natak Academy. She was conferred with Padma Bhushan in 1955 and the Padma Vibhushan in 1987.
Also on 29th October in the year 1920, a premier institute of the country, Jamia Millia Islamia, was formed. Responding to Gandhiji's call to boycott all educational institutions supported or run by the colonial regime, a group of nationalist teachers and students quit Aligarh Muslim University, protesting against its pro-British inclinations and laid the foundation of Jamia Institute.
The prominent members of this movement were Maulana Mahmud Hassan, Maulana Muhammad Ali, Hakim Ajmal Khan, Dr. Mukhtar Ahmad Ansari and Abdul Majid Khwaja. The known freedom fighter and Muslim theologian Maulana Mahmud Hassan laid the foundation stone of Jamia Millia Islamia at Aligarh on Friday, the 29th of October 1920.
On 22nd of November 1920, Hakim Ajmal Khan was elected as the first Chancellor of Jamia. Muhammad Ali Johar became its first Vice-Chancellor.
Jamia participated in the Bardoli Resolution and sent volunteers across the country to motivate people to fight for the freedom of the country. The colonial British government soon imprisoned many of its teachers and students. In 1922, Gandhiji called off the non-cooperation movement and Mustafa Kemal Ataturk declared the end of the Khilafat in 1924.
Suddenly, Jamia saw itself in a great crisis. The little financial assistance that the Khilafat had been giving it also dried up, and even prominent people started deserting it. At this time, Hakim Ajmal Khan, Dr. Mukhtar Ahmad Ansari, and Abdul Majid Khwaja, the first trio, supported by Gandhiji, shifted Jamia from Aligarh to Karol Bagh in New Delhi in 1925. Gandhiji boosted the morale of Jamia, saying,
"The Jamia has to run. If you are worried about its finances, I will go about with a begging bowl."
On 1st of March 1935, the foundation stone for a school building was laid at Okhla, a village in the southern outskirts of Delhi. In 1936, all institutions of Jamia were shifted to the new campus. In 1988, by a special act of the Parliament, Jamia Millia Islamia was made a central university. That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
The sex ratio in Delhi has increased to 933 females to 1,000 males in 2020, according to the annual report of the Directorate of Economics and Statistics of the Government of India. This number was 920 in 2019. Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia said that the rise in the sex ratio demonstrates the increased social awareness.
The government has approved the reappointment of Shaktikant Das as the Governor of Reserve Bank of India for a period of 3 years. The Appointments Committee of the Cabinet has approved the reappointment of Mr. Das. The reappointment will be effective from 10th of December this year or until further orders. In cricket, Australia beat Sri Lanka by 7 wickets in a Super 12 match of the T20 World Cup in Dubai last night. Chasing the target of 155 runs, Australia achieved the target in 17 overs for the loss of 3 wickets. They made 155 for 3. Opener David Warner made 65 runs with a smashing a quick-fire 50. With this, Australia now have secured 2 wins in a row. They will now face England on Saturday. Today, Bangladesh will take on West Indies in Sharjah at 3:30 p.m., while Pakistan will play Afghanistan in Dubai at 7:30 p.m.
In badminton, India's ace shuttler PV Sindhu defeated Danish badminton player Line Kristoffersen in straight sets to move into the third round of the women's singles event at the ongoing French Open 2021 yesterday. Sindhu started the match on a high as she won the first game 21-19 after a hard-fought battle.
Now let us take a look at the weather forecast for today. Srinagar will have mainly clear sky. Temperature will hover between 3 and 21 degrees Celsius. Jammu will have mainly clear sky. Minimum temperature was 13 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 30 degrees. Leh is likely to witness mainly clear sky. Gilgit will have mainly clear sky. Muzaffarabad will also have mainly clear sky. National capital Delhi will have mainly clear sky. Mumbai will have mainly clear sky. Chennai is expected to have generally cloudy sky with heavy rain. Kolkata will have partly cloudy sky with possibility of moderate rain or thunderstorm. Visakhapatnam will have partly cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. Bengaluru will witness fog in the early morning. Thiruvananthapuram will have generally cloudy sky with a few spells of rain or thunder showers.
And now an overview of today's newspapers. As the Prime Minister heads for Rome and Glasgow, different newspapers have given different headlines. Hindu says India will stress climate justice at Global Summit. The Asian Age writes Modi to meet Pope Francis for the first time. The 6th Sero survey conducted points towards herd immunity in the national capital. 97% in Delhi have antibodies, 90% in unvaccinated, while every district has seropositivity over 93%, headlines the Indian Express. After India-China standoff in eastern Ladakh, all-weather solar tents to be deployed at over 17,000 feet on India-China border, reports the Economic Times. Another headline in the Economic Times reads, Sensex Nifty skid 1.9%, worst fall in 6 months. A top front-page headline in the Tribune writes, Aryan gets bail, witness goes away held, relief also for Merchant and Dhamecha. And finally, with the air quality likely to deteriorate, Central Pollution Control Board bans diesel generator sets and hikes parking fees by 3 to 4 times to discourage use of private vehicles in NCR, informs the Times of India.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi leaves on a 5-day visit to Italy and UK to attend G20 Summit and World Leaders Summit of COP26. Prime Minister says COP26 Summit will provide opportunity to meet all stakeholders. PM to highlight the need to comprehensively address climate change issues. India and ASEAN countries call for peace and stability in South China Sea and ensuring freedom of navigation and overflight. India's COVID vaccination coverage crosses 104 crore 84 lakh mark. Union Home Minister Amit Shah to launch BJP's membership drive in Uttar Pradesh today. Railways to start running India's first train with AC3 economy class Gati Shakti Express from today. Sex ratio in Delhi improves to 933 females to 1,000 males. India's ace shuttler PV Sindhu enters third round of women's singles event at French Open badminton tournament. And in cricket, Australia beat Sri Lanka by 7 wickets in Super 12 match of T20 World Cup. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.